Okay, so we have actually covered a lot of ground at this point, and I'm just going to do a really quick recap. If you haven't covered, or if you haven't gone through any of this, please go back in the other videos because we did a really detailed dive on a lot of this. I'm just going to go through it quickly, and then we're going to talk about how we get those keywords that we built in that Google Sheets document over into Google Ads, and then we're going to kind of talk about like what next, right? So once we have the keywords into Google Ads, what are we going to do with those keywords and ad groups? What is the plan once that's been moved from that Google Sheets document, and you'll see, into the Google Ads editor and then pushed live into the account? What do we do next? Because that's really important. I touched on it before in previous videos, but it's important to see what that data looks like once it's inside Google Ads. So exciting stuff. But just a quick recap here on what we talked about in previous videos. We talked about the audience awareness funnel for Google. Again, full funnel on Google, right? So it's not just search ads at the bottom. Most of what we do is at the bottom, to be honest with you. So we focus down here in the product aware searches at the bottom of the funnel, but Google is definitely full funnel. And once you dial in those searches and you start getting quality leads coming in on those very distinct search patterns, and it's something that you might want to consider as well, moving up funnel, because you're able to scoop up more of that audience, especially once the algorithm has been trained properly, scooping up more of that audience that exists out there within your target area. Okay. We also talked about the Google Ads funnel as it applies to like these different stages, right? Interest, consideration, and purchase. What those searches, queries might look like, and we gave some examples of that. We also talked about ad rank, the ad rank formula, really important. Like where you rank on the page for the searches that matter to your business is super important, and there's a formula that Google uses, and it's your CPC bid times your quality score. We also looked at that quality score. What comprises the quality score? What are the components of a quality score? So if you didn't catch that video, please go back and take a look at that, because it's really important to understand how this stuff operates under the hood. Okay, and we talked about what the implications are if you don't take care of your quality score, and you could actually be ranked #1 with a really high quality score and be paying less than somebody that's ranked below you. So really important to watch that carefully. And then we took a look at the bottom of the funnel. We zoomed into the bottom of the funnel, and we talked about the inside out approach with targeting that bottom of funnel high intent keywords. The ones that are inside, like in the middle of the funnel, are these keywords that are predictable. We're able to focus on them, we protect them, we isolate them. In fact, we call those isolation accounts, where we're isolating these keywords and we're bidding them to the top 1 to 4 position in the search results. The higher you up are in the search results, the better your CTRs, the better your lead quality, and the better the performance of your account. So really important to identify those top keywords and bid them appropriately. So that's why we took a deep dive on that one. And here it is, right? The isolation and exploration 1-2 punch of a Google Ads search account structure that would really work for you well. The inside, again, is the isolation, the keywords that are predictable. The exploration is the outside of that bottom of the funnel. Some of those keywords would be like long tail. You wouldn't even imagine those search patterns, right? They would never show up in the search or the keyword research rather, but they do show up in the actual data because people search in really weird ways. So remember the isolation, exploration, because we're going to talk about that in a few seconds here. All right, so having said that, let's jump back over into the Google Sheets document. I'm going to shrink this window of myself to give us more room. Oh, not that way. Here we go. All right, so here we are back in the mental health keyword build, and you can see here we have expanded this out quite a bit, right? So, and to recap, this is it basically emulates the hierarchy of Google Ads. Okay, so we have, let me scoot over here, you can look at the top, we have campaign, ad group, keywords. So we're building out patterns, we're doing our research, we're growing this list, we're finding patterns, we're applying it to other keyword possibilities, keyword ideas. Let me just step back and say that there's a lot of different ways that Google Ads managers will build out keywords. There are some managers that will not start with this level of detail. They'll start with just a few keywords. Maybe they'll put them in a broad match campaign that's held in check with target CPA, just to see what those keywords look, or see what the inflow looks like in terms of user search terms, what they're entering in, and they will start optimizing based off of actual user queries that convert. Okay, That's valid. It allows you to launch a lot faster. You know, we've done that once in a while, but I can tell you that this process that we go through here with a complete analysis of the keyword universe really allows us to learn more about the practice more than anything, right? So we're able to learn not only about your practice and what keywords convert, you know, what your actual patients are searching for, but we're also it also allows us to look at competitors to see what they're possibly bidding on as well. So we're taking a really big view of your keyword universe, and it puts you in such an advantageous position in the beginning because you're able to start testing things right out of the gate, where if you just did a couple of keywords and just let the algorithm and let Google just figure it out, first of all, how much of that's going to be accurate, how much of that's going to be actual quality conversions, you're going to have to figure that out, and it just takes a lot longer. So in this particular case, it's more methodical. We go through these tightly themed ad groups, which I talked about earlier. We're testing these things out. We're adjusting bids for these keywords, for these tightly themed ad groups, to be able to put you in the right position for the keywords that matter. Sometimes we don't launch with all of the ad groups, quite frankly. Sometimes we'll take a segment of them and we will test them out. It depends on the budget, right? So every client is different, but the goal is to test these things out to make sure we're not missing anything, right? So here's the keyword build, and it's pretty extensive for mental health. You can see here, and there are different patterns that repeat themselves, right? So I'm going to make these keyword columns disappear so we can see the actual, hold on one second. So I'm going to hide those, and now we can see, just look over here in the broad column, you can see what these keywords look like. We don't launch with all three different match types. We load all three different match types, and for the isolation campaigns, we launch with just the exact match, right? So again, to recap, we're going back, we're putting in exact match keywords in order to generate quality conversions in the account. The quality conversions in the account will start to inform the algorithm as to what success actually looks like. And then we take that, once we get to like 30 to 50 quality conversions per month, we then take the winners from the isolation account and put them in an exploration account, which is target CPA held in check, broad match keywords held in check by target CPA. And it allows us to expand that bottom of funnel again to be able to find those keyword opportunities that we didn't even know existed, right? So you're looking at three different match types here, but we don't activate all three. We activate only exact match in the beginning, and then we hold on to the others for later, because sometimes we actually test phrase match as well. We're mostly working in the world of exact and broad because this gives us targeting, and then the broad allows us to combine with TCPA, target CPA for the exploratory campaigns. But there are occasions where we will dabble in phrase to see what that looks like. But the point I'm making is that we do launch all three. We just don't activate all three. We only activate exact in the very beginning until we get to the quality conversions of 30 to 50 per month. And then we take it to the next level, okay? So let me scroll through. You're going to see what this looks like. Psychiatrist keywords, psychologist keywords, psychotherapist keywords, mental health keywords, behavioral health, depression treatment, depression therapy, telepsychiatry, telehealth, telemedicine, anxiety, and then treatments. Anxiety treatment with geo-type terms, and by the way, these geo terms have repeated above as well, so there's always geo terms. Those are some of your highest performing keywords, you know, near me, around me, and nearby, city name, etc. Anxiety therapy, PTSD therapy, and again, this is practice dependent. Like depending on what you are treating for, your keyword list would probably look a lot different, right? So everybody is different. We just happen to have a really big list, and we're able to pull, if we ever bring on a mental health client, which we do quite frequently, we just pull from the list. We just cherry pick from the list because not everybody offers all of these services. So ADHD, you can see TMS, which is huge. We work a lot in TMS. So there's quite a few TMS related keywords here. And then, drug specific. And these get tricky, by the way, and I want to talk just a little bit about that. So anything that's drug specific, you're probably going to run into problems with Google, and they want you to be certified. We highly recommend looking at LegitScript. LegitScript, as far as I know, the last time I looked into this, is the only company that Google does business with. It's not cheap at all, so it's something you'd have to have a conversation about internally to get certified for those drug terms, and it's not guaranteed, okay? So it can be thousands of dollars, I believe. I don't remember the exact number. So again, contact them directly, find out what that quote is. Because it can be pretty expensive and it's not guaranteed. But I can tell you, the last time we looked into this, this is the only organization that had the ability to certify companies to run ads. And we have a lot of different companies running ads, where before they would just be, as soon as the ads were published, they would be shut down immediately because they weren't certified. So this is a really, really important step if you're going to be running ads for drug names, okay? Because you can't do it. For example, ketamine will get shut down immediately. So here it is, right, in Spravato as well. But let me see here. So what we do here, we take this list and we actually move it into, you can see this tab down here called Keyword Build Ready. So again, we take that list and we build it into a new, it's the same exact list, but it's just organized differently in 3 columns, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this and move it into the Google Ads editor. So you can see starting at the top, you have phrase match, and as I scroll down, you will see exact match, and then down at the bottom, you will see the same exact keywords repeated as broad match, right? So then we move that into the Google Ads editor. You can see all these red dots here are because it's being flagged for ketamine, which is why I wanted to talk about LegitScript, right? So in this particular case, we would not be able to run those ads because we're not certified, nor do we want to be, because that's not our business, okay? But I just wanted to bring that up. So what we do, and this is not a video about how to bring keywords or campaign structure into Google Ads editor. That would be another hour video, right? So, but I just wanted to cover the basics here. So we're taking the keywords out of this Google Sheets document. We're moving it into the Google Ads editor. In fact, not just the keywords, the entire structure. So campaign, ad group, keywords into Google Ads editor. And you can see that here. So everything that we created in this document here, you can see campaign, ad group, keyword, right? Gets repeated once it's loaded into the Google Ads editor. Here we are again, campaign, and then as I open this up, ad group, and I dive in even further, keywords, right? So it gets repeated, and this is where we finish the build. So we will do the keywords and the ad copy in Google Sheets, because it allows us to be very organized and collaborative with you, actually, the owner or manager of the clinic in this case, as we build these things out, because we do share that. We're very open and transparent. We share that, and then we move it into the Google Ads editor and then finish the build. So now we're adding the assets, we're adding the budget, we're adding everything over here that's related to how a campaign is structured or ad groups are structured. It's all the details are being plugged in within Google Ads. Once that's finished, we push it live by clicking on post, and then we end up with something like this. Now this is the Brand Rocket account. So this is just a test account, and I just pushed them into this particular account. But you see again, the same thing, right? So it's we're pretending here that it's been fully built out, but you can see campaign, general terms, prescription drugs, telehealth. This mirrors what we built out in the Google Sheets document. It mirrors what we just looked at in the Google Ads editor, but now it's been pushed live, and you can see as we go into, for example, conditions, you will now see the ad groups that we built out, right? So the CPCs here, our bids are intentionally low right here. If this was a live account, we would probably set these to the market value. In fact, you can see once you go live with an account, a lot of times what we do is just set the budget at like $1 a day or 10 cents a day, just to get a sense for what Google says the market is expecting, and then we set our bids appropriately. There are columns here that you can set to see exactly what you should be bidding for. And the columns are here. There's so many columns, by the way. So if you go into modify columns, there's recommended columns, there's performance columns. There's too much to get into on this video, but some of the columns in there will allow you to see what your anticipated bids should be for these various keywords, and you'd have to be kind of at the keyword level to see that anyway. And to get there, just by the way, is you just click through, right? So you click on the ad group and you can see the keywords, and let's do that real quick. So again, very tightly themed keywords, right? So here we have tightly themed keywords. Now you'll notice that in this particular case, when we loaded it with all of the different match types. This is broad, this is exact, this is phrase, but what we would do before we actually launched this is we would go in and we would shut off everything except for exact match. We just haven't done it yet here, but you can see right here, like below first page bid at 273, right? So we're having an idea of, okay, Google's looking for at least $2.73 to be on the first page. We don't care about first page. For the keywords that matter, we want to be at the top of the page. We want to be in the 1 to 4 position. So what we're doing, you can look at that at the keyword level. We're at the keyword level now, but let me just bounce back up to the ad group level. So we try to keep our bids at the ad group level because it's way easier to manage the account rather than going keyword by keyword. And we're looking at the same type of data at the ad group level, right? So we have over here search impression share, which is the search impression share overall. We have search impression share absolute top, which is the #1 position. We should have search impression, yeah, it's over here. It's so important. This column is so important that we put it on the far left. So this search impression share top IS is the top location of the search results page, so the 1 to 4 position, and we are looking to optimize for page position in bids. So this is what I talked about in previous videos, okay? We are in what's going to be an isolation account. Okay, this is going to be an isolation account. It's not named yet, but it's going to be conditions isolation, and these will all be exact match keywords, and every single ad group will be optimized for page position for the keywords that truly matter to the business. Now that's a little tricky, right? So the keyword, what keywords truly matter to the business? A lot of times we don't know until we were actually testing it. So we will test out keywords, providing we have ample budget. We can test all of them once, but if we have a smaller budget, we might just take subsets of these ad groups. Smart decision, that's data-based. If we can generate conversions and phone calls within 100 clicks, a lot of times that will tell us that, you know, we can actually start optimizing for proper page position. And again, we're looking at search impression share top. Okay, this is a percentage. So once the data comes in, you will see 20%, 30%, 40%. We are gunning generally for like for the keywords that matter to the business, usually between 70 and 90%. We're also looking at another column quite often called search impression share lost due to ad rank. Okay, it just says rank, but it's ad rank. And again, this is why I wanted to cover again what ad rank means. CPC bid times your quality score. As you can imagine, when you have brand new campaigns and ad groups and keywords, your quality score isn't going to be anything, right? So a lot of times this number here as a percentage will be pretty high because it says your search impression share is lost due to ad rank. You don't even have ad rank. So in the beginning, a lot of times we get pretty aggressive with the bidding just to get the ad rank going and just to start showing up in the search results. And as those quality scores go up, and quality scores are at the keyword level, really important to remember, you're not going to see them at the ad group level. So you got to go to the keyword level. As those quality scores start to increase, because it's quality score times CPC bid equals ad rank, as the quality scores go up, you can start relaxing the bids a bit and maintain that position. And you have to dial it in over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Usually we're dialing this thing in for like 1 to 3 months, right? And we're learning by looking at the inflow of the search terms, and we're seeing what's converting, we're seeing what's creating phone calls, and we're learning the data is leading us down this path to profitability because we are learning what works and what doesn't in the account. Okay, so Google Ads is very much like gardening. You're fertilizing what needs to grow and you're weeding out what shouldn't be in there. And this is why we are super, super busy in these accounts, especially in the first 30 days where we're like looking at the numbers almost every single day and adding negatives, blocking out anything that's wasteful. So this is what you need to do as well. Right? So by the way, if this is way too much for you, we do this stuff all day long. So just let us know and be happy to help out because this is definitely an area of specialty for us. Okay? So this is where we're at so far. We have our ad group. We have campaigns. Let me just go back to the campaign level. We're going to start from the top. I'm going to recap real quick. So we have these new campaigns here for conditions, general terms. We just looked at conditions. Now I'm going to look at general terms. Under general terms, I have all of these different psychiatrists, psychologists, geo terms, things that are related to anxiety or practice, mental health practice, near me. There's a whole bunch of them, right? So those are the general terms. Let me just go back up again. And now we have prescription drugs, which we're going to get nailed for because we don't have certification, but that's where they live. All right, so there's a reason why these things are segregated out, so we can measure them independently, because if you start putting things together that shouldn't be together, shouldn't be classified, you can't analyze it from a business perspective very well. So campaigns, budgets are set at the campaign level, really important to note. So if you want to be able to really execute and measure these things properly, they have to be set at the campaign level, and then you can watch and increase your bids and increase your budgets accordingly once everything is segregated out the way it should be. So the final one is telehealth. Okay, so we go into telehealth, and you can see all the different ad groups, the tightly themed ad groups, right? These ad groups only have a few keywords in each of them, okay? So a lot of work to be done once you hit the go button. Depends on your practice. Some practices don't have this many, but a lot of them do, and it really depends on what you're focused on. You can actually just say, hey, we just want to focus on these two particular service lines, and we will slowly implement over time. You don't have to do everything at once. But the trick here, and again, these campaigns will be renamed. It'll be something like this, okay? So these will be isolation campaigns. Again, they will all be exact match until we get the conversions, the quality conversions, and then we take those winning keywords and we put them into a brand new campaign type that has the same name, except for it says exploration, and the only difference is that we take the winning keywords out of the isolation campaign, we put them into the exploration campaign that's set to a target cost per acquisition, target CPA, along with broad match. And those keywords, there's just a few of them because those are the winning keywords. They act as seeds for that target CPA campaign, and every single one of those keywords represents like a huge audience because it's broad match, so you don't want to add too many. But you use those winning conversion signals to really inform Google, especially this new campaign type, the exploration with the target CPA and the broad match. You use it to inform what winning looks like, and then you use that to grow even further. And that's where the true scaling happens, right? It doesn't happen right away because you have to get the quality conversions in through your isolation exact match campaign. But once you're in a position to be able to introduce that exploration campaign with target CPA and broad match, oh my gosh, that's when it gets interesting, because you can scale that, right? These isolation campaigns have a limited number of searches in your market area. We know that these searches happen X amount of times because they're predictable. It's the unpredictable searches that still have high search intent that will allow you to take your account to the next level, okay? Because people search in very, very strange ways, okay? So I know we're kind of going high level here. This is not a how-to video at all, but you should get a sense for what's going on here with the campaign structure and how we actually introduce these campaigns and how we grow and scale campaigns for mental health practices over time. And again, if this is too much for you, let us know. We do this stuff all day. Be happy to help to grow and scale your practice, all right? In the next video, we're going to talk about ad copy. We haven't talked about that too much yet, so we're gonna see how we actually look at competitors' ad copy, how we build that out in the Google Sheets document, how we import that again into Google Ads Editor, and then push it live into the account, because ad copy is super important as well. Once you've got the account structure down like we have here, and the targeting is on point in terms of like your keywords, it's really the ad copy that resonates with that target audience and allows you to differentiate yourself from the competition and really make even more of a difference, okay? So really important. Again, if this is of value to you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel because we're brand new and I appreciate it tremendously. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Thank you.